Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Muhammad Daves and I am the General Secretary of Sindh Education Organization. First of all, I welcome you all in the this online session hosted by Sindh Educational Organization. So in today's session, as you all know that we always have the wonderful session, whether it's related to scholarship opportunity, whether it's related to any general topic that's related to girls' education, girls' harassment, and anything else. So in the same way, we will be having today's session that's all about the life skills for girls, empowering the next generation. And in today's session, we'll be having Miss Aneela Junaid. She is the founder and principal of Edu21, the 21st Century School, that's certified, and she's also a certified ECEC trainer from the University of Helsinki, Finland, and she's also a PBL expert from the European Education Commission. So, without having any further delay, we'll be heading towards our guest speaker. So, over to you, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum. Aneela Junaid here. I'm very excited and happy to see you all here. And thank you so much for giving me the privilege to speak in front of this youth. And as you mentioned already, I spent many years to do research in project-based learning, and I am a founder of 21st Century Education System in Pakistan. And currently, I am pursuing my PhD on how to do project-based learning in Pakistani education system. So I like to share slides. Give me a minute. So today the topic of our session is life skills for girls and how to empower the next generation. Okay. So please next slide. Okay, so whenever we talk about life skills or real life skills and about 21st century education, let me explain first to you the what exactly 21st century education is. Basically, 21st century education is an educational approach that focuses on the skills and knowledge that students need to succeed in the 21st century world. This includes, you can say, skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, its collaboration and communication. So 21st century education also emphasizes the importance of digital literacy and global citizenship. So one of the key features of 21st century education is its focus on student-centered learning. So this means that students are actively involved in their own learning. They wouldn't be passive learners, they will be active learners. And their teachers will not work as traditional teachers or lecturers. They will act as a facilitators, they will act as mentors, and they will act as a guide or coach rather than just traditional lecturers. So students are encouraged to think for themselves, to ask questions, and to explore their own interests. So another key feature of 21st century education, you can say it's emphasis on real world learning. So whenever we talk about real world learning, we would say that students are encouraged.
Yes, ma'am, your
Am I
voice is.
audible? Someone
Yes, now.
muted it maybe. So anyways, okay, let me repeat it then again.
Yes.
So, okay. So, whenever we talk about real life skills and we talk about 21st century education, as I was mentioning, that we need to explain first that what 21st century education is. Okay. So, 21st century education is an educational approach that focuses on the skills and knowledge that students need to succeed in the 21st century world. So, this includes skills, you can say, such as critical thinking, it could be problem solving skills, communication, collaboration, adaptability, and communication. So 21st century education also emphasizes the importance of digital literacy and global citizenship. So one of the key features of 21st century education is its focus on student-centered approach. So in this kind of education, students won't act as a passive learner, they would be active learning. This means the students are actively involved in their own learning, and the teachers won't act as a traditional teachers. Okay, so teachers will work as facilitators, teachers will work as mentors, as guide or coach rather than just typical lecturers. So students are encouraged to think for themselves and to ask questions and to explore their own ideas and interests. So whenever we define 21st century education, so another key feature of 21st century education is real world learning. So how can we do real world learning? For example, students are encouraged to apply what they know or what they are learning inside the classrooms to real world problems and projects. So this will help them to develop the skills and knowledge that they need to be successful in their workforce and life. Okay, so I think it would be clear that what is 21st century education actually. Okay, so go to next slide please. Okay, so whenever we talk about future skills, first, sorry, I will mention about economic revolution, which happened during 1980s. All of you must aware about that. When that economic revolution happened, so all developed countries realized it, and they realized the need of 21st century education and to learn real life skills. Unfortunately, Pakistan is 40 to 50 years behind that, because unfortunately we were not able to introduce this kind of education system in our institutes. So that shift, that economic revolution from manufacturing to service based economies led to a demand for workers with higher levels of education and learning, not those traditional learners who just doing rote learning and just making assignment and cannot reflect on their studies. So the rise of the knowledge and the rise of knowledge economy led to a demand for workers with critical thinking, with problem solving, with strong communication skills. So the rapid pace of technological change led to a demand for workers who are able to use technology effectively. So whenever I talk about these skills, that I put emphasis that today this is a biggest requirement of our youth, for our girls, that they should equip themselves with future skills. Okay, because workplaces are going to change. There is a rapid change inside the workplaces. You and me cannot predict at this point that what jobs would be there in the future. So whenever we talk about these future skills, we should put emphasis and we need to interest that what is the relationship of these skills and this kind of education with the Holy Quran and Siratul Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Why? This question is very important. As we are talking about spiritual revolution and we are talking about 21st century education, although here I am telling you to equip yourself with modern education, with modern teaching and learning techniques, but on the other hand, there would be a biggest challenge for 21st century education will be a spiritual revolution. So when there would be a spiritual revolution, at the end a human being will go to its origin. So all those people who know that what's the purpose of their life, वो इस जिंदगी में क्यों आए थे, उनकी इस जिंदगी के बाद लाइक जो हेयर आफ्टर है वहां पे क्या होगा, and what is the purpose of their birth here, why they came in this world. So when you will be well aligned with Sirat al-Nabi and with Quranic education, there would be an exact answer, direct answer in front of you people. If we will not, we will make a strong relationship with Quran. On the other hand, you can see about Jews, Christians who will be away from this kind of education. So there will be a big mess for them. So that is a great prediction of spiritual revolution is. So right now we are talking about 21st century education and critical thinking and problem solving, communication skills. But you can get and adapt all these skills from the life of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As you can quote, I can just quote a simple example of Hajr Aswad. Okay, what happened that time? There was a problem, there was a conflict. So he used his critical thinking and how he solved the problem. So we can relate a lot of examples when we learn about 21st century skills. So I think it's clear that whenever we talk about modern education and modern teaching and learning technique, we should put in our mind that we need to connect it with Sirat Nabi. The role of Sirat Nabi is very important. Otherwise, there would be a big disaster for our youth. So always put emphasis, always connect yourself with this type of education. So next slide, please. Okay, so future life skills and women empowerment. So, what are exactly those skills? Whenever we talk about 21st century skills, future skills, real life skills, so future life skills are the skills that will be most important for women to thrive in the rapidly changing world of tomorrow. So, why these skills are important for girls as well? Like why they need to be critical thinkers, why they should be problem solvers, they should be creative, they should know what is creativity and innovation, how to get effective communication and how to do effective collaboration, digital literacy and fluency. Then you should be resilient and adaptability. So these are the real life skills you need to adapt. Being a woman, being a girl, it's very important for you to thrive in 21st century education. So now the question arises that I am talking and you are now listening to me that all these things are very important. But I know that there would be some questions in your mind that what would be the ways to adopt all these skills. So I can give you some specific tips as a student that you can relate those tips to your learning to your learning process. For example, whenever we say that you have to learn critical thinking and problem solving. Okay, so first of all, we are going to discuss what is critical thinking and what is problem solving skills. So whenever we talk about this skill, you need to identify the problem. Okay, that what is the specific problem or issue that you are trying to solve. Once you have identified the problem, you can start to brainstorm possible solutions. You should gather information from different channels, from different platforms. Don't copy paste. Don't just get into one book and try to get that ready made information. Okay, collect as much information as you can about the problem and the issue you are going to solve. Okay, so this may involve, as I'm saying, you don't go towards ready made information. So this may involve doing research, talking to experts, then you can conduct experiments. After all that, you have to analyze the information which you gathered through different channels. Once you have gathered the information, you need to analyze it carefully, and this involves identifying the key facts and considering different perspectives and evaluating the evidence. So at the end, you will go to develop the solutions, because you are having some problem and now you are going to get the solution. So based on your analysis of the information, you can start to develop possible solutions to the problem or issue, and at that time you should be creative. Okay, if we talk about creativity and innovation, at that time you should be creative and you should come up with as many solutions as you can. So evaluate the solutions. Then once you have developed possible solutions, you need to evaluate them carefully. Consider all the pros and cons of your solution and choose the one that you think that is the best. So when you got a solution of your problem, okay, so you have to implement that solution. So how will you implement that solution? That you have chosen a solution you need to implement. This may you can say this may involve taking actions by yourself or working with others to implement the solution. So when you will work with others to implement the solution, it means that you are doing collaboration. Keep this thing in your mind. Without this skill, that how to collaborate with others, how to work in groups, you wouldn't be able to get success. Okay, if we are going to build even a small building, we need to get help from different people. So for bigger projects, without collaboration and without knowing how to work in teams, it won't be possible for you to get your project. So at the end, what will you do? You obviously you have to evaluate the results. So once you have implemented the solution, you need to evaluate your results. And then if it was successful, if the solution was not successful, you may need to go back to your workstation, you need to go back to the drawing board and develop a new solution. Okay, so this is the way. If I am talking about a problem, that problem must be of your subject. Okay, if your subject is English, if your subject is information technology, if your subject is about sciences, so obviously you are going through different problems, and at the very time you are going to get solutions. So please don't depend on ready made information, don't depend on the information given to you by your lecturers. You have to dig out that problem by yourself, and you have to use different means of representation. Okay, you have to go towards research, innovate new ideas, go to the solution, analyze the results, and implement those solutions then. Okay, so if I again go further about other skills like creativity, how to innovate, and then I would say, I would recommend you to that expose yourself. Sorry, expose yourself to new ideas and experiences. The more you know about the world around you, the more fodder you will have for your creative mind. Okay, read books and articles, watch movies and documentaries, and travel to new places. So this will help you to expose towards new ideas and experience. So challenge your assumptions. Don't just accept things the way they are. Ask yourself why things are done the way they are, and if there is a better way or not. So be open to new ideas, even if they seem crazy at first. Okay, so take risks then. You should have ability to take risks. It's very important. Take risks. You can take risks when you will adapt a skill of decision making. Okay, so how will you do this? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if you fail. Okay, because failure is a part of the learning process, all of us know. So the more you try, the more likely you are to come up with something new and innovative. Okay, if you will try, if you will get failure, then again you take risk, and in this way you will go to something new and you will innovate something new, and you will become entrepreneur, which is the need of 21st century. Okay, so collaborate with others. As I mentioned already, without collaboration, without grouping, without teamwork, it would be very hard. Please share your knowledge, share your skills to others. So through collaboration, then you will get success. One of the best way to be creative is to collaborate. And bouncing ideas of others can help you to see things from new perspectives and come up with new ideas, and then create a culture of innovation. How you can create a culture of innovation? For example, if you are in a position of leadership, then you can create a culture of innovation very easily on your workplace by encouraging your employees to share their ideas, take risks, and learn from their failures. So, in this way, I think it's easy for you. And whenever we talk about digital literacy and fluency, obviously, whenever you're getting into any problem or you're going to solve your problem, always get help from digital literacy. Align and integrate your subject matter with digital world. Use different softwares, use different apps, and integrate technology in each and every subject which you are studying, because without information technology, without this digital literacy, it's very hard for us to survive in 21st century education. You know, there are rapid changes, and all these rapid changes are there just because of technological revolution. So if we want to be successful as a woman, as a girl in this 21st century, we need to adapt this 21st century education, and then we have to go to equip ourselves with digital literacy. Okay, so then I can give you some specific tips for adopting these skills. For example, set aside some time each day to brainstorm new ideas. This could be anything from writing down ideas in a journal, or you can sketch out ideas on a whiteboard, or any notebook. Use creativity tools. Okay, as I when you will use creativity tools and techniques, then you will learn about digital literacy. There are a number of creativity tools that can help you to generate new ideas. For example, you could try brainstorming, mind mapping, or role playing. There are many apps to do brainstorming. Not only you can use just buy your pen and paper, and then seek out inspiration from other domains as well. Like, don't be afraid to look for inspiration outside of your own field of expertise. For example, if you are a business person, you could look for inspiration from artists and scientists as well. You should meet them, you should interview them, and you can hear their successful stories. So experiment, do experiments. Once you have an idea, don't be afraid to experiment, okay, and prototype it. This will help you to refine your idea and see if it is feasible or not. Okay, so get feedback. For example, you can reflect and get reflection of others on your studies or on your work. Once you have a prototype, get feedback from other members, okay, from other professionals, from other expertise. This could also be from your friends, your family, your colleagues, or your potential customers, you can say. So their feedback can help you to improve your prototype and make it more marketable. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so as I was talking, although I already told you many ways that how you people can, adopt all these skills which I am mentioning to you. So how students can develop life skills like be curious and explorers, ask questions. You should go towards open-ended questions. Okay, so then you should polish your creative and innovative skills. As I told you, there are many. I told you many tips and techniques. So through this way, you can adapt these skills, communicate effectively, and work in collaboration. So these are the things which students can develop. Okay, so I think I gave you some tips and I elaborate that what those real skills are, which specifically for each individual, not only for, you can say, only for girls. For each individual, these are must, but specifically, it's very important for women because we have to meet a lot of challenges in our life. Okay, so to be confident and be courageous to face those challenges, we must have all these skills in our life. Okay, we should be best presenter, we should be best communicator, we should be best problem solvers. Then we should know what are the decision making skills at the very time when you are facing different challenges in your life. Take risks. Okay, don't just be afraid that you are a woman and you don't have empowerment. No, go and take risks and always have a positive approach in your life. So if I talk about your student life, okay, as you people are learning and learning many things, you are going to make your careers. So I just want to explain to you people here that whenever we talk about 21st century education, whenever we talk about real life skills, so there is a biggest question that how to foster, how to inculcate these skills towards our learner. हमें ये स्टूडेंट्स को ये चीजें कैसे पढ़ानी है, how they will be well equipped, what kind of conducive environments is their requirement. Okay, so one thing keep in your mind, please: be vigilant, be aware of all those teachers, all those lecturers who are providing you ready-made information. Ready-made information will kill your creativity. Ready-made information will kill your innovative skills. Okay, it won't let you to think out of the box. So why I am advocating project based learning, and I am I am working on a project to transform different schools in Pakistan and different colleges and even university level. Why I'm doing that? Because after so many years spent in this field of project based learning, I came to a conclusion. And not only me, the researchers are saying, okay, around the world, in the whole Europe, the only teaching technique which they are using to foster, to inculcate these skills is project based learning. Why are we advocating project based learning? Because there is no other skill, okay, other than sorry, there is no other technique other than PBL to teach these skills effectively to our youth and to effectively to our students. So project based learning is actually a pedagogy. It's a pedagogy, teaching pedagogy, you can say, in which, as I mentioned at the start, in which the student will work as a active learner. Okay, he will take the ownership of his learning. His voice and choice would be the main command. It won't be like that. The teacher will come inside the classroom, he will give you or provide you some specific websites, maybe if you are studying in a more innovative way. So I think your lecturer or your teacher would go to an extent that he will provide you different channels or different resources, like different apps or websites, or a book or some notes, right? So whatever you should do, you please, you should start your work through a driving question. If you will be able to make a driving question, then you will be able to do research. Okay, then you will be able to dig out your problem. So driving question is must. For example, if I'm talking about pollution, so I won't put myself on a question that what is pollution and what are types of pollution. No, my driving question, which I will put in front of me, because I'm not going to get help from a specific recommended textbook of any writer, जिसको शायद मैं जानती भी नहीं हूँ, और I'm not going to get a direct information from my teacher. I'm going to just dig out and I want to learn about pollution. So I will write a question in front of me which should be non Googleable, which should be challenging, which should be complicated. Okay, because I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm going to make a project on my problem. Okay, so I will say that what are the factors in the environment which is destroying it. Okay, so there would be so many things obviously come under it, not only pollution. There will be many types of pollution, then the factors, then solution. Then I will present that solution in front of the public. It should be a public, my result and my solution should be a public product. And I should have skills to present that product in front of the audience. Okay, what would be the audience? Audience would be your classmates, audience would be your teachers, audience would be your university fellows or college fellows, then audience would be the professionals. So always do with a driving question and use different resources. You should use multiple books. Please use effectively, the use of library is very effective. Then you should use get help of technology. As you all know, there are a lot of means, there are a lot of channels. By a gadget we can make research and we can get information. Okay, so and then come to a proper conclusion at the end. Try to do a lot of activities under your project, like you can join some clubs, you can sell your products. Okay, you can engage the audience, then you can go and interview the professionals. So all these are real world connection, so you can work on all these areas. Okay, so this would be the way that you can develop and you can learn that how to implement these skills in your real life. Okay, so if you are having any questions, so please come out with the questions.
So, all right, that's all from our guest speaker. So, all right, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and your sharing your wonderful experience on this topic. So I, on the behalf of Synth Education Organization, thank you for your time and sharing your wonderful experience. If you want to say something, you can say.
Uh,
Otherwise, we'll conclude our session here.
thank you so much. And I tried my best to engage the audience, and it was really a privilege to speak in front of them. Sure, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, all right, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all the participants, for joining our session. We will come up with another session in coming days. So, all the participants, thank you so much for joining the session. Allah Hafiz.